Welcome back to Bourbon Country Reacts.
Hey everybody, that's Keith. I'm Dustin. I like brakes, and Keith likes cars.
Porsches.
Porsches.
I don't even have one.
You not anymore?
I got the hat. I don't have a Porsche. I'm a poser now.
I would never call you that. I'd call you a lot of things. I wouldn't call you that. So we got another bribe.
Oh.
What's up, Keith?
So
Keith, a happy boy.
I know that bottle.
Do you?
I do.
What do you know about this bottle?
I know that's a good bottle.
This is a Stephen bribe.
That explains it. Stephen seems to know his stuff.
What are you doing?
What?
You didn't think I'd notice.
I was kind of hoping you would.
I was like,
we got this far.
That is not. That's funny. We did get this far. That's funny. And it's funny because you were trying to be sneaky about it, and I could kind of tell. I was like, something's up with him. Because your whole, everything changed. And then I look over, and it ain't a song on the screen.
There's a song there.
I'm sure there's a song.
It's just on another tab.
Correct. Yeah. So, anyway, we got from Steven, the Steven bribe, we got a Rebel Cast Strength single barrel. So, while we've had bottles like this before, we've never had this bottle.
I have had a sample of that somewhere.
No, I'm telling you, it's a single barrel.
Yeah. Oh, so we've never had this bottle, correct? Because all single barrels are, every release is different.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is why people like single barrels.
That's why I like them. So that's the kind of one of the weirdest things to me about the bourbon industry, and I kind of get it. Like Woodford, for example. If you pick up a bottle of Woodford at Walmart,
it's the same.
It's the same bottle of Woodford in Japan.
Yes.
It's gonna taste the same.
Yep.
And they do that on purpose because they want it's about consistency, right? Wild Turkey's the same way.
But the bourbon market loves single barrels because there are minor variations from barrel to barrel.
They're all different. It's kind of like wine.
Yeah.
Right? How there are different vintages of wine, and some are better than others.
You know generally what to expect, but it could be different in various ways.
Yeah.
So the song that came with this...
I feel like this is a Stephen Onions and Dust one.
Yeah, so you remember Teddy Bear?
I do. Truck driver on the radio with the little kid.
Yeah. And how that kind of got you and got us in the fields.
We haven't done this one before, have we? Because I feel like...
No.
You sure?
This is Teddy Bear's last ride.
I know, but I feel like...
We have not done this.
I'm going to double check. I'm just going to double check while you tell us what the hell's up on the screen. Because it ain't Teddy Bear.
No, this is not Teddy Bear. So I thought...
Nope, sure didn't.
I thought maybe Bourbon Country Reacts would want to see what's kept us off the air.
Some of what's kept us off the
air. I'm not going to play this whole thing. But I'll give you guys a taste.
A taste.
So watch out for your earballs. This might be kind of loud.
Some people buy drugs. We like to track our motorcycles.
Well, in cars. But
true.
Drugs would have been so much cheaper.
It's true.
we could have had a heroin habit all this time and saved money.
Yes.
Yes.
But it wouldn't be as good for our health. Shut up. So what song is this? Oh, yeah. Teddy
Bear's Last Ride.
So, real quick, Stephen, if we got this wrong, sorry, but your message said Teddy Bear's Last Ride by Diane Wilsonson.
We could not find that. The closest we could find was Diana Williams.
So hopefully this is the right one.
Hopefully. All right. You got you got your mind right to get hit in the feels.
Yeah, I'm good. Yep. Stone. Very Hawaiian vibe.
I was there that day and I saw her cry after Mama Teddy Bear said 10-4 and goodbye. She turned off the old CB and just looked at me, and her heart overflowed and her tears ran free, and the gratitude shone in her face like the sun for all the things those big tough truckers had done. A handful of change and a few dollar bills, but most of all, a little cripple boy's dream fulfilled. I guess I was Mama Teddy Bear's best friend. I lived by her and little Teddy Bear since, oh, I couldn't remember when. And that's why now, before my memory grows old, the rest of the story just has to be told. I'd come over and sit with Teddy Bear while his mama was away and play little games to help him pass the day. Then the afternoons, he'd wheel that chair over by the radio and he'd go on the air. And one by one, he'd break them all. I never knew a trucker not to answer his call. He'd just grin and ask me not to tell his mama, but I was pretty sure she knew what was going on. But time has a way of taking its toll, much too fast. Mama Teddy Bear was growing old. And I watched as the silver touched her hair, but her one aim in life was Teddy Bear. And then I saw another change take place. Little Teddy Bear was slowly losing the race. I knew it, and his mama knew it too. And there was nothing in this whole world either of us could do. He talked less often on the old CB. There were times when he'd hardly talk with me. He took to sitting by the window and watching the road, and the big 18-wheelers rolling by with their loads. And finally he was too weak to get out of bed. And one day he looked up at me and said, "Would you turn on the radio and go on the air and tell all my trucker friends what's happened to Teddy Bear?" Well, the hardest thing I've done in my time is pick up that mic and say, "Break 1-9. This is for all you truckers who care. I'm calling for your little friend, Teddy Bear. He says to tell you he misses you all, and he's awfully sorry he can't answer your calls." They all came back and joked with me and said they'd catch him later on the old CB. They never did catch Teddy Bear again, 'cause late one night the angel came, and the last thing he said before he died was, "Tell all my trucker friends how I enjoyed the rides." Mama Teddy Bear couldn't tell him, and neither could I, 'cause every time we'd look at that radio, we'd both start to cry. The funeral was preached at the chapel, and little Teddy Bear started on his last ride. As the procession rounded the little city square, the sounds of 100 engines filled the air. The truckers had dropped their trailers back somewhere behind, and one by one, they fell in line. They all tried to comfort Mama Teddy Bear, and it seemed like the warmth of God just filled the air. Slowly they formed a circle around the little grave, and a lot of big men cried that day as they paid their last respects on Teddy Bear's last ride.
Well, okay.
Yeah. And what, like, you can see that happening, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a plausible story.
Yeah.
Especially in the 70s and 80s when...
Yeah.
Is that thunder or fireworks?
Fireworks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That sounds like a freaking artillery barrage out there.
A little bit. It kind of fits though, right? 4th of July is coming up.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm glad I prepared myself to get hit in the fields. If I hadn't known that, yeah.
You'd be able to hit different.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So, I think we've only had this a few times, but this was more of a spoken word story than it was a song.
It was, and the original Teddy Bear that we listened to was that way as well.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of trying to imagine. So let's say it's 1977, and there's some radio station. Back then they had enough wattage to throw in an 80-mile radius. And they play this song. Within range, there'd have been 700 truckers going,
I ain't crying, you crying. Right? I ain't crying, you crying.
And every one of them going, I'd have gone.
Uh-huh. I wish I would have known where it was.
And meant it, too, and absolutely meant it, too, right?
100%. I feel like we don't have that culture anymore in the truck. And maybe I'm wrong, but
so for a lot of years I commuted from West Virginia to DC.
Sure.
And I carried the freaking mail. So it was before Waze.
Yeah.
To tell you where the cops are.
Yeah.
So the CB was what told you where the cops are.
Yeah, there's Smokey up ahead.
And so I was always communicating with truckers, getting, they called them bear reports, where are the bears. And I would wind up with a line of 6 or 8 cars that saw the antenna on top of my Mustang.
Going with you.
Just running right with me because they knew if I backed out of it, I'd heard something.
Right.
So, but that was right around 2000.
Okay. I was going to ask if you had a Fox body, but you didn't.
No, I didn't.
Not in 2000.
No. I don't know what happened to kind of that culture because even then it was starting to get kind of weird. You would get the guys that would just hold their mics down for 100 miles and preach on 19.
Yeah.
And it kind of drove everybody else nuts.
Right.
And of course, people would try to step on them, but inevitably that guy had basically, a ham radio kit blasting 1,000 watts. You couldn't step on him. I don't know if it's still that way or not.
When I was little, guy that my mom was dating, he had a ham radio and he always had a CB in the truck. Always made me want one, honestly. I've always wanted one. Never put one in one of my vehicles because running the antenna is a thing for me because I want it to look nice and all that stuff. But I've always wanted one.
Yeah, I shoved one in my Mustang and it saved me from a lot of freaking tickets.
I bet it did.
Because the magic combination for a long time was a good radar detector and a CB.
That's right.
Now you run into Virginia, you got to pull that radar detector down.
Under the dash. Yep.
And they'd light you up. A buddy of mine got busted running the CB and radar detector. He was in Virginia, and they hit him with instant on, instant off radar.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst.
So he's flying down the road.
That's not the worst, but it's pretty bad.
Trooper clicks it on to clock him and sees the nose of his car dive.
Yep.
And he's like,
Yep.
Yeah, and he actually told my buddy, if you hadn't been running that radar detector, I wouldn't have even pulled out on you.
Dang.
But he kept the radar detector in. It was a few $100s fine. So, yeah.
That sucks.
Virginia doesn't play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the song did its job.
Yep. Steven, onions and dust.
Uh-huh.
I see what you did there.
So.
And he didn't disappoint.
No. So like all Lux Row products, this is heavy cinnamon up front.
On caramel.
cinnamon and caramel.
Yep. Caramel bomb.
What's kind of unusual, normally your citruses are in the up front.
Yeah, this one's more towards
the finish. I'm getting it in the finish. I'm getting citrus and oak, almost like 7-Up in the finish.
I get it more towards the mid. The finish to me kind of falls just kind of into oak, and it's really quick. Like, it's not one of the... We just had one that was a really long finish. This one is... It stays, but not as bold.
So I think I don't know for you, but what's happening for me is the oak flavor stays, but it kind of dries out on you.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
It dries your tongue, dries you out, which can make this a little dangerous because you want to wet your tongue again.
Correct.
And
yeah, my mouth's dry. I must be thirsty.
I'm going to play the proof game on this because I want to see how dangerous this is.
I think it's pretty damn smooth, personally. So this is Rebel
I don't think it's that high proof.
Bourbon whiskey. It's a single barrel.
But I don't think it's barrel proof.
What do you think it is?
I think it's about 100.
He thinks it's about 100. Can y'all read what it says right there in the middle? I'll bet they can. Can you read what it says right there in the middle of that? So it says cast strength.
Oh.
Right there in the middle. Yeah, he didn't see that. It's 120.
Oh, this is deadly.
Yes. He's not lying when he said it tasted 100.
This will kill you.
It tastes 100, and it's 120.
So it tastes 100.
Yeah.
And
it's a
the
smooth
drink,
100.
It dries you out.
Yes, to send
calling
you back
for more
Some
120.
damn sirens.
This is a one-way ticket to shit-faced is what this is.
I ain't drunk, you drunk.
This stuff ain't that strong. Slurp.
You can light it on fire.
I think it's got to be 150 to burn, but try it. No, don't. We're in my house.
You got a lighter?
No, don't. We're in my house.
I'm pretty sure anything over 50% will burn. And this is 60%. It's pretty good. Steven, this is a good one. Thank you.
How is that 120?
It says it right there. 120. I know. It don't make sense.
I just took I drained my glass.
What the hell is your problem? And it didn't light you up.
At all.
No. It's Luxro, man. It's magic. It's like...
This is dangerous stuff.
It's good.
I probably shouldn't have did that.
You probably shouldn't have did that. He's going to pay for that later.
Yeah, I probably will.
About 2 more videos. Oh, shit.
Great tone.
I'm not drunk. You drunk. I can walk still.
Yeah.
You good?
So Phil's song. Steven likes to do that.
Yep.
Outstanding bourbon. So yeah, well done. Thanks, Steven. That was outstanding. So if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a like. Drop down in the comments. Tell us what country music we need to check out. Tell us what North American whiskeys we need to try, and we'll see you next time.
See you.